What's up, everybody? It's Broken Bones here, and welcome back to another episode here on the KrustyKraft server. Today is episode 50, yes it is, and today we're starting things out at my base because look at how cool my base looks, but we've got this big old bridge hanging off the side. And this bridge was to bring our villagers over here so they could get zombified by this guy. In the last few episodes, we spent a lot of time taking these villagers, converting them into zombies, and then transporting them out here to make them look like orcs. Moving these guys was a lot of fun and very difficult. I experienced a lot of issues and a lot of problems, and we made several mistakes along the way. So I'll leave links down in the description for those episodes, and now we need to go ahead and get this guy in a safe place. But first, we need to make sure all of our rails are facing the right direction. So now we can finally take you and send you on your way. And while we're moving this guy, I'd like to take some time to talk about the newest update, Chase the Skies. As you can see, I don't have the graphics on because I cannot handle how they look. The new sky graphics that they made are just so hard on my eyes. I don't know, where did this guy go? I started talking to you guys, I lost track of our zombie. There he is. Alright, he's still coming this way. But nonetheless, yeah, the skies and the render distance and everything, I can't handle it. I think some of the newest features they added are pretty cool, but the graphics, I just can't handle it. My eyes can't take that. And see there, I just turned those vibrant visuals on. Look at this. You can't even see my entire base. I can't even see spawn from here. And don't get me wrong, I think things look cool, but with how low the render distance is and all the fog and how saturated everything is, it's just extremely hard on my eyes. But these shadows are epic. I love the way this is. But honestly, looking at this makes it feel like I have chlorine in my eyes. Everything seems extremely blurry, but I don't know. That's just me. Now we're back to the regular Minecraft and everything seems like it should be. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. But nonetheless, we got this guy in a safe spot now. And just look at the difference in render distance. We can see my entire base. We can see all of spawn. We can even see past spawn, and we can see most of my buddy's base from Scorpion. So I think that's enough about the newest update. That's how I feel about it. But nonetheless, I think it's pretty cool. I think we'll use that for maybe some cinematic fly-throughs and get some cool videos on that. But nonetheless, I think what we're going to do now is we need to go ahead and tear this bridge down. This bridge has been here for too long. We're not using it anymore, and we're going to set up something completely different. We need to just go ahead and tear all this down. And no, this is not the plan for today's episode, but it is the beginning of it. The plan for today's episode is actually to build one of these really cool two-way rail stations down here at my iron farm, because this is my rail station right now, and this rail station isn't so good. Sometimes when you come out of the door, you bump the minecart, and it takes off without you, and you're left without a minecart. And that's exactly what's happened to this side, as you can see. And nonetheless, we have another door over here that I'd like to have a rail station go to, and so therefore if we go like this, you can see that a door opens up like this and it takes me down to my shop. I'd like an automated railway that'll actually take me down there, so I think we might get rid of this in today's episode too. And then finally, I'd like to build some auto crafters for this shop. Last episode, we built all this redstone behind my shop to make it to where I could just load in shulkers and they would go ahead and dispense them for me. However, I don't want to load my shulkers with rockets either. I'd like to have that all done for me. So if we complete all that in today's episode, I'll be super happy. And if you guys are ready to get started, then go ahead and smack the like button for me. Subscribe if you guys are new, consider becoming a member, and let's get started with today's episode. So to get things started, we're going to need to rip out this door, and we're going to need to make some space for one of these rail stations. Now, I'm thinking about building two of these. I've been thinking about this for a little bit. I'm thinking we should have two, one right here, one so we can go back up to our base, and one so we can go directly to this closed shop right here, which is my bookshop, and another one over here so we can go to the villager breeder, and we can also go to my faraway shop, the rocket shop. So I've gone ahead and gathered all the items that we're going to need to build these rail stations, and a few more items here on the side just in case we need them. And yes, as you guys might have heard, yes, we have memberships on the channel now. Isn't that cool? We have access to world downloads to all of my tutorials. We have a members only realm that's going to be starting up soon, and we have a whole bunch more cool stuff, so be sure to click the join button below for more details on that. But moving forward with this project, we're going to need to start ripping out all of this redstone here. We're going to need to get rid of all of this, and we're also going to need to get rid of this door over here. We're going to need to go ahead and strip this out. There's a bunch of redstone up here that's all in here. We need to get rid of all of that. There's also a rail down here that I used to use, and we need to go ahead and, you know, we could probably use that, but we should probably destroy what we're not going to use of it. And man, oh man, I have to say, this is going to be like the third episode in a row where I'm destroying my stuff. I mean, it never feels good to destroy my stuff. And as I mentioned last episode, the only thing that does feel good is the fact that I know we got something even better coming in the end. So now we're fully committed, there's no going back now. And now my door is completely gone. And so are both rail stations. So now I've gone ahead and cleared out some room for the rail station and all the redstone behind it. And now what we need to do is we need to do the exact same thing for this side, which is now done. And all that we need to do now is fix in all the little gaps, which has now been done. And now everything is coming together. We're putting in the granite style floor because that's the way this whole room was to begin with. And I think it looks pretty decent. And now that should be done. So to get things started, we're going to need to break out a couple blocks right here, along right here, and along right here. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a dropper. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves a dropper. We're going to face that one in there this way, and face that one there facing up, and then face a dispenser in there facing just like this. Then we're going to grab a couple hoppers, go ahead and throw 2 in that side, and then grab 2 more and throw them out on this side. And of course, go ahead and throw in your cactuses. Then we'll go ahead and throw in our decorative bits. And of course, with everything else, we always need a little bit of lighting. And now it's time to hook up all the rails. And if we come out just like this, we should be able to turn in that direction right there. There we go. Let's go ahead and place ourselves in 2 powered rails in right there, 1 right there, and 1 right there. Then we'll place ourselves in a rail, and it'll decide which way it's going to turn. And now that we have the front all done, we can go ahead and take ourselves some blocks in here just like this. That'll keep the cactuses from growing, and that'll be the next level to our facade in the front. And we're going to want to add 2 buttons right here in the front. So now that we have the front all done, next we need to go ahead and get ourselves behind. So I'm going to break this block so we can get out back here just like that. There we go. Then what we need to do is our buttons are going to be right here and right here. So we're going to place a couple blocks in behind those guys. Then we're going to place a couple blocks right in front of those up here just like that. And then 1 more down here like so. Once we have that in place, next we need to go ahead and break out 2 blocks down there just like that. We have a little bit of lava, so we're going to place in a block right there. There we go. And then we need some redstone dust in right there with a redstone torch in just like that. We need to grab some more redstone dust in right here and place 2 repeaters in here just like that. Now that this is all in, next we need to go ahead and come on down here to the bottom redstone that we have down here. We're going to need to go ahead and make this dropper work right here. This is the dropper that's facing in towards that one. Then we have powered rails on top of this block right here, so we need to make both of those work. We're going to place in a block right here and a block right there. We're going to take ourselves in a repeater just like this with a redstone torch on its face, and that'll power both of those. We also have these powered rails here in the front, and I also wanted these to be powered as well, just like that. So let's go ahead and place those out. But we also need to power all of these. Which, if we come back to the torch, this should be our powered rail. This should be the rail that turns. We should have a powered rail there and there. We can turn both of those on. We should also have another one right there and another one over here right there, just like that. All of those are in a line. And if we take a look out the front, we can see that all of our powered rails are powered, except for these ones. These ones get powered when we tell them to. So next we need to go ahead and work on the station that actually makes this turn left or right, depending on which button we press. And so next we need to go ahead and head on back down here. We need to go ahead and get the redstone in for that. So to get started with that, we're going to come right over here where this redstone torch is. We're going to come a few blocks out in front of it here, just like this. We can go ahead and come in right here just like so. We need ourselves a block up just like this with a redstone torch on top of it, and this will be the block that we need to interact with. So as you can see, if you guys were paying attention, the rail used to turn this way. Now that we have a redstone torch underneath it, it is now turned this way, which means that anytime we hit this button, we're going to want that rail to change to this side. If we hit this button, nothing needs to change because it's already in that direction. So if we hit the left button, we definitely want it to turn left, so we need to wire that up. So to do that, we're going to come right around here to right behind our button right here. We need to go ahead and break out a few blocks and get ourselves some blocks in there for our redstone. I like to put my redstone on blocks that I know that are going to be, you know, something that I marked out. So anyways, we need to go ahead and go just like that, and see this block right here too. We need to change that one out as well. So let's go ahead and get that out. We'll go ahead and put ourselves in a block just like this, and then that way we know that's going to be part of our redstone. So we need to put a repeater there. That's going to be on 2 ticks. Next we need to get ourselves all the way out over here. So let's get ourselves broken down around in this way. All right, once we get to the front of that block, we can go ahead and come in right here. We need to place ourselves in a block right there. We can come down by a block just like this, and we can break out a few more right here. We need to place in 4 blocks in here just like that, and 1 right there. So this is the block that our repeater's on, and this is the block that it's powering. And so next we need to go ahead and place ourselves in some redstone dust coming down here just like that, with a repeater going into that block, which is that redstone torch which toggles our railway. So now if we take a look at the top, if we hit this button here, it should change to the left, and as you can see, it does change to the left. Our powered rail rail lights up and we can hear the droppers going off. If we hit this side, it doesn't change. It just powers the droppers because you're going to go in that direction anyway. So now it's time to fully test our system. Let's go ahead and open this up and put all of our minecarts in here. You're going to need at least 4 minecarts. I've got 6. So if we go ahead and hit this button, we should see that the minecart gets dispensed now. Then if we hit it again, we should see that it takes off just like this. And then it goes ahead and goes back into its station. And there's another minecart ready for us. If we hit this button, we should see that it goes in that direction. And then it goes around and goes back. And then it gets another minecart ready in this station. And so now that we got this side done, we need to do the exact same thing for this side. And since we already built one side, we're going to go ahead and build this side in a montage, and I figured I'd take this as an opportunity to talk to you about some of the new stuff that's happening on my channel. So as you guys heard earlier, we do have memberships now. We also have a members-only realm that's going to be launching soon, so that's something that you guys are going to get your hands on. Also, we have world downloads to every single tutorial that I've ever done, which is something that's brand new on my channel. If you like my tutorials, you're definitely going to want to get your hands on that. So let's talk about how you can get your hands on all these cool things. So first of all, if you guys aren't a Discord member of mine, then definitely go down in the description. It's a free app. Go ahead and click the link down in the description. It'll take you right to my Discord. Go ahead and click on it and become a member of my Discord fan chat. That is completely free. That is where I'm at. That's where all my fans are at. I offer Redstone support there on all of my Redstone tutorials, and that's where all my world downloads are. So be sure to go down in the description and check that out. But wait, there's more. You can now get memberships on my YouTube channel, which will get you exclusive perks that you wouldn't have if you weren't a member. Starting with early access to all my videos. I often edit my videos and upload them to YouTube about a week or so before you guys actually see them. Instead, if you're a member, you won't have to wait that time. You can see them now. And then, of course, the best perk is the members-only realm. This is going to be so exciting. I've tiered my memberships to where you can enter as just a recruit, or you can go all the way to administrator. This will determine your position on the realm, and you can basically pick what position you want. And the best part about it is that it's not a reoccurring payment. You don't have to pay monthly for this. A single purchase of the membership will gain you access to the realm for the entire season. And if you choose the admin level memberships, that'll gain you access not just to the realm, but also to my Redstone testing world. You'd be able to watch me live and collaborate with me while I'm building all of my new tutorials. And to top everything off, only the first 10 members are going to get a guaranteed spot on day 1 launch of the new realm. So be sure to go down below, click the join button, and claim your spot now. And please be assured that all of your patronage is very much appreciated. Every single dollar that you spend will be going back into the realm on cool things like cash prizes during big events. So at one point or another, you could actually win more money than you've spent on your membership. I'm not saying you will, but it's totally possible. And if you look at that, our build is complete. So let's go ahead and move on with the episode. Thanks for listening. So now that both of these are done, this is actually pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited about this. I need to go ahead and decorate the last bit of all this whole area. I want to close it all off with granite. Granite's not necessarily my favorite, but it looks a lot better than having it all speckled. I'd rather have spots like this just all be the same block. It looks a lot better. And then behind here, we actually have a villager, so we got to be rather careful when we're doing this one. Hey there, Mr. Villager. Oh, we knocked off his torch. Let's go ahead and fix that for you there. And now we have the last few final blocks that we want broken out and changed into granite. And then to put in the final few finishing touches, and now this room is finally complete. Look at how good this looks. I'm so happy with it. Look at, this is going to be so awesome. And look at the front of our iron farm now. This is all nice and neat instead of having clunky minecart stations here. So now this tunnel is going to lead to my bookshop, and this tunnel is going to lead all the way down to my rocket shop. So now the entrance to that railway is literally right there, and we're going to come on down here all the way down to my bookshop, which isn't very far away, but this is my bookshop right here. And then what we have down here is another secret entrance over to my shulker shop over there, which I don't really need because I have access right here. And Doxer did me a kind favor of actually making this for me, so I don't really want it though. I'm gonna make a rail station right here, so I'm gonna rip this out here, Doxer. Sorry, buddy. So now that's all buttoned up, and then over here is our old entryway where we had our secret door. So now we're going to be using a railway, so we're going to go ahead and block this all off too. And now our new rail station for our bookstore is going to be sitting right here. So what we need to do is we need to break out a few blocks right here. And I've even opened up the floor to give us a little bit more room. So to get things started, we need to go ahead and place ourselves on a block right there with 2 redstone torches on it, just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and patch up the floor right in here, just like that. So that way we can have ourselves 2 powered rails in here, just like this, connected by a corner rail, just like that. Next, we're going to come right over here behind that rail. We're going to throw ourselves in a dropper facing up like this, and a dispenser facing this way, just like that. And now we need to place some of the redstone in the back. We need to place ourselves on a block right there, down here just like this, and coming across just like so. We need to place ourselves in redstone dust across all of these areas. We need to place ourselves in another block right on top of here just like that. Once we have that in place, we can go ahead and take ourselves in. We need ourselves a redstone torch in here just like this. We need a block in right there with a redstone torch on that one. There we go with our redstone torch. And that block is going to get some redstone dust on it with a block in front of it just like this, like that. There we go. Let's grab ourselves a button here, and we're going to put that button right there. That should be all the redstone done and dusted for this guy. Now that that's done, we need to come over here. We need to place in ourselves a cactus right here just like that. And then we're going to need ourselves some hoppers leading into that dropper. We're going to come all the way across here, back here just like that. Next, we need to grab ourselves another, we're going to use regular rails right here. All right, okay, so let's go ahead and take this rail out here just like this. We're going to need to put ourselves in some stone here just like so. Let's go ahead and get this out here just like that. We can use a powered rail right here. We're going to need to power that one, but then that all should get us all the way out and up there. So now that that's all done, it's time to start putting in some of the decorations, and I think I should have put a stone block right in here so that way it matches with the facade. So now that we have that in place, we need to grab ourselves some stone stairs. Let's go ahead and grab these. We'll put a stone stair there and a stone stair there, and over here we can grab another stone stair just like this. We need to actually go ahead and throw that powered rail in there just like that. That'll go ahead and complete that up. We can put stone across over here just like this, just like that. There we go. We can bring this in here just like so, and then we can go ahead and throw ourselves in some stairs just like this, and we'll bring the roof on down here to make that meet up with the stairs. Final few blocks going in, and so now that is all done. And I think right over here, let's go ahead and take out the shulker box here and maybe this torch. We're going to go ahead and take this. We'll go ahead and grab ourselves some stone. We'll go ahead and come right over and across here just like that and kind of make it look all completed up there. Let's go ahead and throw some stone in there just like that. There we go. And we can throw ourselves a torch in right there. And you know what? Instead of having these torches right here and right here, I think I'd prefer those guys right there and right there. Oh my goodness, and it looks like we didn't power our rail here. So let's go ahead and get that done. Let's go ahead and get ourselves down here. There we go. Go ahead and put ourselves right there just like that. We'll grab ourselves a block and put a redstone torch on top of it. That should power that rail. Let's go ahead and double check. That looks good to me. So now that we got that, we need to connect our rails all the way up to the top. But first, let's go ahead and test our system. We're going to put a powered rail in right there with a redstone torch in right there to power it. Let's go ahead and come on over here and we'll load up our system with some minecarts. Let's go ahead and put all of these guys in, and now we should be looking good. If we go ahead and hit this button here, we should see that a minecart gets dispensed out just like this. And if we hit it again, we should see the minecart takes off, and then a new one comes back, and then when this one returns, it goes back into the system. So now with these last few final rails going in, that should be it now done and dusted. So now if we go ahead and take ourselves a minecart ride down to the bottom of our shop, we should take off. We should go all the way down, and our minecart's going to get broken. Or at least I thought it would have gotten broken. Let's try this going the other way. Let's see what happens with that. If we hit the button here, we go on up. That's good. But when we come back down, is that going to happen every time? Let's see what happens this time. If we come on back down, we're going to get stuck right there. All right, so to deal with that, we're going to have to bring this out to here just like this. Let's go ahead and bring this out here like so, and we'll bring the rails out and around here like this, and we'll have to have it to where they come in from this line, not this line. So now our new powered rail is going to go in right over here. Let's go ahead and put that in here just like this. There we go. If we grab ourselves another stone block, we can put that in here and then connect that up to there. That'll be where our new rail line is going to go. Then we're going to have to make this match up with that. So let's go and grab ourselves a powered rail here. Oh, now we need to go ahead and power this one. And you know what? I've got an even better idea. Let's go ahead and take this out. We'll take out this redstone torch since it's no longer needed. The one on the side over there still is. Let's go ahead and come on up here. We'll take this rail out. We'll double up on that powered rail, and that should definitely be enough to go ahead and send the minecart out over there. And then of course we have to put back our decorations. Now let's go ahead and try this again. If we hit this button here, we should have that minecart take off just like that. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and hop in it because I believe that went all the way up top. Let's go ahead and head all the way up here. That should have taken a minecart all the way up here. Very good. Now if we come on back down, we can go ahead and take the minecart back down, and now it should go right into the system just like that. Very good. And now that we've done that for the bookshop down this way, we need to do the same thing for the rocket shop down this way. All right, so I've got ourselves a good start, and it looks like we're coming into where our shop is going to be here soon. I'm just going to bridge out like this, just like that. There we go. And then we need to go ahead and continue all the way across, and our shop is right on the other side. All right, we are coming up on our shop. Our shop should be right below this here. Let's see here. There's our shop. So if we drop down and in, okay, so now we need to put ourselves a rail station station here and connect it up with the tunnel that we just made. So I've got a little area started right here. Our minecart station is going to go right here, and we're going to exit back out and go back up to our tunnel up there. And now that's fully closed in. And right here, we need to go ahead and open up the floor, and it looks like the floors actually open up down there. Wow, there's some lava down there too. So we'll close that up. And now we've got all the redstone that's going in down below that needs to make it work. And so we need to place in a couple blocks right here with a redstone torch and some more redstone dust on top of this one right here. Here's our dropper and our dispenser, and in go the powered rails and the hoppers with the cactus, with a little lighting and the decorations out the front. And with that, our decorations out the front should be all done and dusted. We'll add 2 torches with a button, and it'll bring the wall down to match up with the top, and then we'll go ahead and fill in this area too. And just like that, our little station is all complete. And I just realized something really stupid. Not only do we not have our rails to be completely done with the station, but I've built it backwards. The cactus needs to be on this side. Well, I know what this is like, breaking out my own redstone. So now there's all the other blocks that are all torn out, and everything is now patched back to the way it was. But with that there and this over here, we need to put a dot of redstone dust. That should be that all complete. And just like that, we're all the way back to normal with a button. And of course, the rails. And now looking at it, doesn't it make sense as to why the cactus has to be on this side? It wouldn't work if the cactus was on that side, because the minecart would come in and hit the dispenser, not the cactus. But either way, now through to this side, now I've gone ahead and added some bridging going up on over here so we can get ourselves back up to our tunnel. And then we need to dig our way back to our original tunnel. Whoop! That's why they say don't dig up. And with these last few blocks, there's our tunnel right there. Nice. Now we need to go ahead and fill this back up. We can go ahead and get rid of that. We can fill up our little hole and make this look like it never happened. And now we need to go from here and run a rail line all the way back to our station. And here we come up on the last rail. Look at that. So let's go ahead and test our system. Let's hop on the minecart and press the button and see how it goes. We're coming up to our downward spiral right here where we come right on and in. There we are, right into the system. Now we need to load this up with minecarts. So I've gone ahead and loaded up some minecarts. Now if we press the button, we should have a minecart come out just like that. Perfect. And if we hop in the minecart, we should be able to press it off. A new one will come out just like that, and then it'll get sent back off, back to our other rail station. And just like that, here we come, right into our other rail station. Very nice. So now that this is done and dusted, next we need to go ahead and build the auto crafter, which is going to be making shulker boxes as rockets and putting them right into this barrel for us. But as you can see, we don't have much space up there, so we're going to have to do a little digging. And with these final few blocks, this is going to be the area in which we need to dig all the way down to my shop. My shop's only about 10 blocks below this. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the time-lapse of that. I used the new vibrant visuals. I think it'd be cool to use it for that, but not for really playing, and I like this much, much better. So anyway, we need to move forward with actually building this, but look at my inventory. It's filled up with all this stuff. So we need to go ahead and go back to the base, grab everything we're going to need, and also empty our inventory. And oh my goodness, I'm almost excited to come here to this rail station versus the one that we used to have. Now we can just go right over here, click this, and now we're on our way to our base. And now that we're back up here, I've cleaned out my inventory and we've gathered all the redstone supplies. So to get things started, I've come into creative to do a little bit of planning. And the first thing I needed was a rocket auto crafter. This guy is not my design though. This is a design by RexStone. I'll leave a link to his tutorial down in the description and at the top right hand corner, so you guys can go ahead and check that out if you guys want to. But this thing is so small and compact and works so well and quickly, I honestly don't even want to try building another one. So I think we're going to go with this design. This design is super small. Look at it. It's almost nothing and it works really, really well. So let's go ahead and test it out. So if we come right over here, we should be able to put ourselves in a stack of gunpowder just like that. And over here, we should put ourselves a stack of sugarcane just like that. And then out of the output, we should see that we start getting rockets just like that. Look at how quickly they're coming in, 3 at a time. So the next step after getting all this set up was to add it to shulker box loaders. So we have shulker box unloaders that'll unload our sugarcane and our gunpowder out of shulker boxes, feed it right into this auto crafter right here. So this auto crafter is literally sitting right in here. Then down here we have a shulker box loader that'll load up all the rockets into shulker boxes and then put them right into our system. The only problem I'm facing is that this is the barrel where our system should be, and this is how many blocks I'm going to need behind that barrel. And here on KrustyKraft, this barrel is our input, and we do not have 7 blocks behind it. That's how many blocks that we're going to need. And in fact, if we go any further, you can see that we're going to get into the decoration of the shop. This is the front of my shop, but I'm definitely not digging into that. However, if we turn the whole system this way, then we only need 2 blocks off to the right, which I have, and we need 7 blocks out the back, which we also have. And something I just thought about, we haven't even checked our shop. I'm sure that we've sold some rockets. Look at that, we got 11 diamonds from this shop, and we already sold 1 shulker box worth of rockets. And it's only been 1 episode, so now you can see why I need to build this so it's easier for me to stock my shop. And because rockets sell out so quickly, I think I'm going to add a little bit more storage. And then our shulker box loader will start right here. Now this shulker box loader is super simple to build. It's very easy, and I have a tutorial on it, and I'll leave a link to that tutorial up in the top right hand corner there for you guys. And with these last final few blocks in place, that should be that part of the shulker box loader all done and dusted. Looking pretty good so far, but now we need to actually build the autocrafter that's going to craft the rockets, and that autocrafter is going to go right into this barrel. So what we need to do is we need to come up here, we need to place down a temporary block right onto that hopper here, just like that. We're going to go ahead and place ourselves in a autocrafter in there, just like so. Next, we need to go ahead and come over here. We need to place in a couple temporary blocks. We're going to place another autocrafter in this direction right there, with a hopper facing into this autocrafter before I fell. And then we can break out our temporary blocks. So now I've come onto the other side of it. There's the barrel that this autocrafter is facing into right there. So this is the back side. And now we need to go ahead and wire all this up. Next, we need to go ahead and grab ourselves an observer. We're going to place that in here just like that, so it's faced out this way. Then we need to place another one in here just like that, so the red dot is facing right here. Next, we need to go ahead and come on down here. We're going to place ourselves in a block right there. We need to go ahead and get on top of that block and place ourselves in a comparator just like this. Once we have that in place, that's going to go right into a hopper. That hopper is going to be facing it right there in that direction just like so. Then above here, we can place ourselves a hopper on top of that autocrafter and on top of that autocrafter. And then right here, we can go ahead and place ourselves in a block right here just like so. Then once we have that in place, we need ourselves a temporary block right here, and we're going to place one out to the side just like this. And we can go ahead and break this one out here just like so. We need ourselves a comparator right here just like that. Then what we need is we need ourselves a temporary block on the back of that comparator here just like that, with a hopper facing in this direction and another hopper facing right back into it just like this. So once we have that in place, not on top, just like that, there we go. So let's go ahead and break that guy out. We can go ahead and grab that guy out of there. He's going to be going back and forth here for a second. But once you have that done, next we need to go and grab our comparators. We can go ahead and place a comparator there and a comparator there. Once we have that done, we can place ourselves in 2 blocks on the fronts of those comparators just like this. Then once we have that in place, we can place ourselves in a torch right here just like that, coming off of this side right here. That's going to lock that hopper. Then on that side, we can place one right there with some redstone dust in, just like that. In here, we can go ahead and open this up. We can place any old item in there. I'm just going to place one item of stone bricks there, just like that. That should be fine. And then once you've got that done, next we need to go ahead and program these autocrafters. So go ahead and open up the one that's right here, and we're going to go ahead and select all of these. This is the one that we're going to be creating rockets out of. And so next we need to go ahead and place ourselves in some gunpowder right here in the first slot. Then next we need to go ahead and come over here to this autocrafter. This one we're going to select all the top row and all the bottom row, and then we're going to go ahead and put 3 stacks of sugarcane in there, and you should see that you get paper coming out of it. Once you have your autocrafter programmed, next we can go ahead and come over here. We can go and throw ourselves in some sugarcane just like that. We should see some sugarcane going into the system over here, and it should be coming over to your autocrafter just like that. Once we have some of that, then go ahead and throw in some of your gunpowder, and then you should see that you get rockets being crafted out here. And as you can see, we have rockets coming out already. So once you have rockets coming into the system, next we need to go ahead and take a comparator output from that barrel here. We need to go ahead and place in 2 redstone dust with a repeater right here set to 3 ticks. That's going to have 2 more redstone dust coming over here just like that, but we need to cut that off. That way that stays straight. That's because this torch right here is going to light that up and subtract 14 signal strength away from that comparator. So anytime that this barrel gets too full, it's going to go ahead and power this circuit, and it'll go ahead and send power over here into this hopper, locking it. And when this hopper is locked, this comparator won't be turning on and off, and this autocrafter won't be crafting rockets, because this barrel will be too full. But then, what if we crafted too many shulker boxes worth of rockets and this storage system got too full? We don't want shulker boxes of rockets just despawning. So then from this hopper where the shulker boxes would be going in, we need to take ourselves a comparator output from that. Once we have that, we need to go ahead and run that into a redstone line just like this. We need to go ahead and come across all the way over to here, all the way across, all the way over to here. And then once we get over to here, we can go ahead and get rid of this phantom here. There we go. All right, then what we need down here is we need ourselves a redstone torch right there and a redstone torch up here. And you should see that that turns off, and it should be right underneath that hopper. Which, as you can see, that torch is right there, which is the same hopper that this locks, which makes the whole machine stop. And now that we have this complete, next I need to go ahead and put in 2 shulker box loaders right here, but there's not enough right here. There's not enough room. So we need to go ahead and place ourselves in some barrels just like this. We need to go ahead and place in a couple hoppers, a couple more barrels. We're going to do this a couple times. And right down there on this hopper, we can go ahead and place ourselves at a block to keep other items from going out. And then we need to go ahead and go just like this. We need to place ourselves in 1 more barrel. So let's go ahead and place in a temporary block right there with a barrel in just like this. And 2 more hoppers right there and right there. And then our shulker box loaders will start right here. So I've gone ahead and cleared out a little bit of space for the redstone that we're going to need. And then down here, we're actually going to want a shulker box return station. This is for all the empty shulker boxes. And I want those empty shulker boxes to come right back to this dispenser for this shulker box loader. So we're going to go ahead and put ourselves in a hopper going in here, and we need to get that all the way back to over there. So I think something like this might work, just like that, but then going through here, we'll need to go ahead and actually break this repeater. This repeater will have to sit on top of a hopper. So let's go ahead and get ourselves that block out here. Go ahead and put a hopper line all the way through here, and we'll put that repeater right back. And then here goes in the repeater. So now over on this side, we can throw ourselves in a block. Over here, we're going to want ourselves a barrel just like this, and that's going to have hoppers leading into the back of it like so. We can go ahead and bring that all the way back here like this. Yes, it's going to go over that redstone torch, but that redstone torch will be powered off when the machine's running, so that'll actually be okay. Then we're going to actually have 2 hoppers coming out to the side and 2 more coming back like this. So now that hopper line goes right out the front there like that, and now we need to go ahead and throw a wall up around it so that way the shulker boxes don't accidentally fall out. Then what we can do is we can grab ourselves some sticky pistons. We're going to put those there and right there, and that'll suck the hoppers back so that they stop feeding the items through, and then the shulker box can go down below to that hopper line. Now that we got our glass in and our pistons in, we need to go ahead and waterlog that hopper right there, and that'll go ahead and run out this way. And we've got glass surrounding it, so let's go ahead and waterlog this one too right there. There we go. Normally I would just use the water streams to run my lines all the way around to where I need them, but the hopper line was so short I decided to use hoppers, so we're going to go ahead and cover that one. And I have tutorials on the next shulker box loader that we're going to be building, so I'll leave those tutorials up in the top right hand corner and down in the description. But we're going to go ahead and run through it with you guys anyway, because this is really fun to build this one. So we're going to put some redstone back there. We're going to put ourselves a comparator on top of that piston. We're going to put a block on top of that one just like this with a sticky piston in just like that. We need to go ahead and get ourselves a block right here in the front, so let's go ahead and put one right there in front of that guy. We're going to place ourselves in an observer right there. Then we need to place ourselves in a block in just like this. We're going to put ourselves in a repeater just like so. We need to go and put that repeater here on 4 ticks. Then we need to go ahead and come on down here. We need to place ourselves in a block right there with a sticky piston facing down just like this. Then on this side, we're going to go and come over here, place ourselves in a an observer just like that with a dispenser facing in right here. And then we need to go and put a block on top of that one. Then once we have that all in place, we need to go ahead and come on over here. We can go and put glass in right there and right there. And then we need to go ahead and do the exact same thing for this side. And then with this last block, that should be all done and dusted. So now we have both shulker box loaders. All we need to do now is we need to come over here to this dispenser. We need to go ahead and place in blocks there, and blocks there. We're going to put ourselves in another comparator with a sticky piston facing sideways this time with an observer facing that direction. We need to go ahead and do the same thing on both sides, which has now been done, and that's looking pretty good. And next we need to go ahead and go right over here to these dispensers right here. Yes, we need to go ahead and put ourselves hoppers leading into there just like this. We need to go and put ourselves in some barrels in here just like so. We need to put ourselves in another hopper leading in there just like this with another barrel leading in there just like that. If we do that on both sides, we'll be pretty golden, so let's go ahead and take care of that here. We'll go just like that. We'll come on over here. We'll place that in there just like this, and one more barrel barrel, and we are completely done. The only issue now is I don't have any shulker boxes of sugarcane or gunpowder. I'm completely out. But unfortunately, my sugarcane farm is slow, and my gas farm that I use for gunpowder is extremely laggy. So those two are going to have to be worked on in a future episode, because that's all the time I got for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. This was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to actually make this thing work. I just need some shulker boxes to actually put into the system, so that'll be fun. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and if you guys did, be sure to smack that like button for me, and subscribe if you guys are new. Consider becoming a member, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody.